Kiki Classic Rock.
Steve Augeri.
Hey, Kiki, how you doing?
Uno, dos, tres.
Uno, due, tre, quattro, cinque.
Seis, siete,
Your kid's
ocho,
got all the
nueve.
moves. That was Don Corleone's, Michael Corleone's wife. Before the car blew up, she said, "Michael, uno, due, tre, and then the
Well,
terrible.
forget that then.
Classic movie though.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I sat and I watched all of. I couldn't get through three though. Did you like three? I didn't like three.
No, of course it didn't. It was nowhere. It didn't compare.
Yeah, I
One
mean,
and two are so brilliant, but
yeah.
I especially love two because De Niro's young Don Corleone you can't match it.
No, you can't.
De Niro was at his prime there. He was brilliant. Growing up in Brooklyn, New York, The Godfather is required, curriculum. So, and it's sad because whenever I spin the dials on the television, if it's playing, if it's on television, if it's in the middle of the movie, I can't not watch it.
I know,
It's
but
a sickness.
hold on a minute though. You're not still spinning the dial on the TV. I just have to stop you there.
Yeah, and you have to point the antenna or the coat hanger wrapped with aluminum foil. You have to point it to the Empire State.
Oh no, I did that all the time.
That's what I was a kid.
No, I totally did. I had to do that to see Casper the Ghost on Channel 56 because we couldn't get it unless I stood there with the aluminum foil on the coat hang.
But you're a young kid. I'm showing my age. Let's move on. This is no good. I just had a birthday. I'm not even going to, I don't even, you can't, they don't make enough candles to go with it.
Steve, what does a big rock star like you do on their birthday?
Well, it's a good question. And I was telling my wife, Lydia, on my birthday, the snow, I think we had about a foot of snow or something like that, and it was cold. And I was just shaking my head and saying, honey, I'm getting the short end of the stick on my birthday. Every January 30th, it's nasty cold, and all I want to do is drive into the city, into Manhattan. I want to park my car, and I want to go in Central Park, and I want to walk Central Park and go to the museums, and I want to be a tourist because I love that part of town, and I can never do. It's not fun in the freezing cold. So I've always said I was going to do it, but we're going to try to do it a 6-month birthday, half a year birthday.
Nice.
So it was lovely. It was just the three of us for my birthday, as it was for my son. That's what I would do. I would go to Coney Island before anything else.
So
That kind of thing. I'd go to the beach and just have a hot dog, at the original Nathan's and that kind of thing.
how long has it been since you've been to Coney Island?
You know what? I just drove down there a couple of weeks ago just because I was listening to some new mixes on some of the remaining songs of the record, and I always love to, after being in the studio and listening to them in a proper sound system, I like to get in the car, and there's nothing like driving and listening to music.
Yeah.
And so I like to drive. That's where I'll go. I'll drive to Coney Island, and that's exactly what I did.
And does that inspire you to write something else, or does that put something else in your wheelhouse?
No, not particularly, not this time, but it's funny you say that because my agent brought this to my attention the other day, and he had the same experience. When I used to ride the subway from Brooklyn into Manhattan to go to work, I used to go to the front of the front of the train, and look out the front window, and the visual, as you can imagine, and the sound of the train, that motion and the chugga 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 to the sound of the wheels on the rails. It just, music just used to fly into your head. It used to come from all over, and it used to be so inspirational. And I remembered he unearthed that memory, and that's something that I think I'd like to go back and do, and make a video for one of my upcoming, for my newer releases going down the road. I think I would have jumped back on the subway. And the bridge, it would go over the Brooklyn Bridge, and I can catch actually, it would be the Manhattan Bridge, and I would catch a glimpse of that, and share that vision, that experience, and give it to my fans. I think they'd appreciate that.
You have
I'd enjoy it.
You have to do a video.
Well, you know what? Listen, nowadays, it's going to be a different type of video. I enjoyed making that last one. It was just a lyrics video.
Yep.
But I finally put my old Victrola to use that I bought a couple of years back, and it was the star of my video.
Yeah.
And I'm going to I'm going to try to make things, they're not going to be, the typical Tawny Katane and White Snake videos with, girls and scantily clad women and
wait a minute,
stars on stage. I'm just going to do what I can do to make a little visual, maybe a little artsy-fartsy kind of thing, and just make them interesting, just to keep them interesting.
Steve, I think, listen, if you got on the hood of a car and straddled, like literally, people would love it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's exactly what everybody wants.
Slithering on the front of a Cadillac. I mean,
just reminded me also, I saw a photograph of myself lying on top of Jonathan Cain's red Yamaha piano that he used to tour with. And during the course of one of the songs, I used to run from across the stage, and I used to leap onto his piano and slide on my stomach onto his piano. And I'm looking at the photo, I'm thinking, Jesus, I wonder how many times John used to think this guy's ruining my piano. And I can also tell you a couple of times I didn't quite calculate it, and I hit myself in the little private areas on occasion. But that was an interesting memory, looking at that photograph and me lying on top of Jonathan and serenading to him.
I really think, you need to ask Jonathan that question. Like, was he mad when you were on his piano all the time?
Yeah, be honest, John. Let's talk. We could talk about it now. There's been some years in between then and now.
So have you seen any of the guys from Journey? Have you kept in touch with any of them?
I haven't, with the exception of Ross. Ross and I have communicated a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, no, not lately. So when they come to town, I'll definitely get in touch with them, and I'd love to go see them.
And see
why. I think I saw the photograph of their stage, and it looked beautiful. It looked brilliant.
Oh, yeah. And it would be great to have that as a little piece of one of your videos. I'm just saying. Just throwing that idea out there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just a little one.
There might be a trademark issue, though, a copyright thing, but we'll see about that.
Someone's feet, so then you don't even really know, but you know whose feet they are.
That's a good idea.
Oh, I got them all, Steve. But anyway, your new song.
It's funny you mentioned that, because in my video for my latest release,
yeah,
If You Want, there's a moment in the video, I don't know if anybody's noticed it, that you happen to see a couple of CD covers.
Yes.
And no one's caught it yet. So I'm going to put that out there. So the next time anybody listens on YouTube and watches the video, look and see if they could find a couple of CD covers and see if they can guess CD covers.
Oh, now I'm going to have to go watch it again.
Where's Waldo? You're going to have to play Where's Rock and Roll Waldo.
So the new song, which is great, everybody is going like Steve Augeri puts out kind of a love song-ish song, and everybody's going nutso over it. Everybody's loving it. I love it. So there's got to be a story behind it, though, because you're talking about love and all of that.
Somebody asked me, it sounds like it's going to be a love song, and it is, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a ballad. It's not a power ballad. It's not a mushy, which we have those as well. They're lining up and they're on the cue. But this song is a definite throwback to the mid-tempo rockers like Stone Song or Tina Turner song. And in fact, it was greatly inspired because I was at a mix session for Rod Stewart's Do You Think I'm Sexy? And it was at Sigma Sound Studios in Manhattan. And my friend's boss did the dance mix, the remix of it. So he invited me along, and I was there. I was a fly on the wall watching them mix the song. And you can only imagine it left its mark on me and and indelibly.
Man.
So that now fast forward, gotta be easily 35 years since that record was released. But I think it's got that groove. It's got the groove, and it had a great saxophone. So I put a saxophone in it, and I found this wonderful saxophone player from Atlanta who plays with a wonderful band by the name of the Yacht Rock Review, and his name is David B. Freeman. David B. Freeman, not Friedman, no D. David B. Freeman, and David knocked it out of the park. He just, man, he did exactly what I needed. And it's a throwback to the old, kind of Saturday Night Live had David Sanborn back in the day, and also kind of like a Clarence Clemens or not quite. It had that great rock and roll sax that you'd hear in Pink Floyd and even the old Stone songs. So I wanted to do a rock and roll song, and that's really what it is. It evolved. I mean, it is about love, and it's about accepting love and opening the door to allow it to happen. But it's really it's as much a rock and roll song as it is a love song. So.
Now, this song has been in the works quite a while, though, because you were talking about it last May.
Yeah, and in fact, we previewed it, but you couldn't play it to your audience for one reason or another. So we actually played it, and
right.
This, I wanted to lead with something that rocked. I think the next single is going to be the one that's really going to leave its mark, because it's a ballad that I wrote with band members Adam Holland and Craig Pullman. It's a ballad, and I think it's probably one of the best songs we've ever written together as a writing team.
So when did y'all write that?
The new one coming up?
Yes, the one that you're just talking about, the new one coming out. That is.
It was during the pandemic days.
So why do you think this is going to be the best song that you guys have written together?
I think it's gonna check all the boxes that my fan base likes. I think. It's a beautiful curse. It's a champagne problem that people expect you to sound like one of their favorite bands in the world, Journey. So the minute I don't do something that's Journey-esque, which is kind of the first song, if you want, it really hasn't got anything to do with Journey, I don't think at all.
I don't think so.
But the next one will ring a couple of bells and check a few boxes.
Okay.
I think people will appreciate it more, but I don't want to lead with a power ballad or a soft song. I wanted to go out there a little bit and rock a little bit. And I think that's what we did with the first song.
Oh, absolutely. And it's, like I said, it's great, and everybody is seemingly loving it. And I noticed that you got a new YouTube channel.
I've never had a YouTube channel before. I've released songs, and as I released them, these songs were self-generated by YouTube. So now that I have an official channel, I need people to get out, subscribe to it, and whether they want to comment. I'd love to get some real criticism. So far, people like it too much, or they're being too polite. Go ahead, let it fly, because it'll only mold me and make me stronger. I've got thick skin. I grew up in the streets of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, and we're not necessarily. We got thick skin. Let's put it that way.
Be careful what you wish for, though.
Yeah,
just saying.
I know. Believe you me. Believe you me. But anyway, the point is, I'd love for everybody to subscribe to it. That would be great.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And listen to the rest of the music, my other stuff that I'm trying to swing over to the channel. There's some red tape, let me tell you.
Is there really? Now
it's terrible.
Is it the red tape between is it red tape from your producer?
The stuff that they self-generated, it's taking forever to get it on to a proper channel, everything lined up under one roof. But that'll happen, and this way when they go to listen to one song, they'll be able to see the next one and the next one and the next one. And I think we have as many as 12 songs or so. But
perfect. We love that. Now
it's exciting.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And I mean, anytime I would think a new project, but getting yourself onto YouTube and such a humongous platform that everybody just, I mean, I listen to it in my car, and I think so many other people do the same thing. So it's
Well,
just
look,
wonderful.
I'm late to the party, and folks don't release records and make a living on that anyway. So today it has to go up on a streaming platforms and such as YouTube or Spotify and Pandora, to name a couple. And I think I get a $5 check. I think it's below. It doesn't even break $5 annually. But the hopes is that you generate some interest, and maybe they'll show up at the show and say, "Hey, listen, are you going to play that song?"
Well, and
And hopefully we will.
it's true because, like I always say to Al, he goes, "Why do you do these things?" Well, because everything ties into each other. So your YouTube channel will tie into your new music or old music that you put out there. And then you're absolutely right. Oh, well, maybe we'll go see that Steve Augeri I was just listening to on YouTube. He's coming down the street. Let's go see it. Everything works together.
So you keep learning. You know what? I'm learning even today. There's always something to, something to learn and apply and move forward. So it's all new to me, but I don't want to, I laugh. I'm remembering, I just watched a Keith Richards documentary yesterday or the day before. And Keith's wonderful because at the end of every sentence, he laughs. And if that isn't a happy man, let me tell you, he's got a beautiful life, and he has nothing but joy. And he laughed after every sentence he spoke.
That's funny. That's so funny. Yeah, but you laugh all the time too.
Well, right now I'm enjoying. This is very pleasant. I appreciate you having me on. It's a great way to connect and say hello to my fans and say hello to my friends out there. And always great to talk to you, Kiki.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for being so nice to me always.
Oh, I heard you had my buddy Cary Grant on the other day. Robert Fleischman, the Cary Grant of rock and roll.
We love Robert, and he loves you.
I love him too.
We
He's
all love
great.
each
He's
other.
a genuine guy, and he's so talented, man.
Oh my gosh, it's kind of crazy how talented y'all are, and we're just loving all of these connections. Now, I do notice, Steve, you're going to be on the road again with Lou Graham and our buddy John Payne on March
Yeah, I'm looking
12th.
forward to that. It's been a while since I'm trying to think the last time the three of us were together, but we will. We have at least one show on the books, with only more to come, and in fact, here I am in beautiful Southern California, preparing to go on with dear friends of mine, Six Wire from out of Nashville. And if I told, I don't think I could rattle off all the names that are going to be there, but no less than Alice Cooper and Michael. Did I say Michael Bolton already?
You didn't, but Michael Bolton. All right, let me just tell you.
No,
So,
wait a minute. Yeah, go ahead. And my good friend from the Romantics, Wally Palmer.
yes.
And that's just four names that are coming to mind.
Do you think that you had the same hair as Michael Bolton back in the day? Come on.
I did at one time. I
See?
did.
I knew it.
So I have a great old Michael Bolton story. We were starting our show in Acapulco, Mexico. Best place you ever want to start a tour because it's humid and it's warm and it's the best thing for your voice. So we start a show. We're playing. I want to say it's the Spanish station is it Uniglobe or Global One or Uni something? Big Spanish station.
Univision, I think.
Univision. I think it's probably one of the largest, at least as far as the U.S. is concerned. So Michael, I got a chance. I had met Michael maybe 30 years earlier at a birthday party. His manager threw him, and I was friends with the manager. Anyway, fast forward 20 years or so. Michael and I are reunited, and I go on stage before Michael, and I've got my, for some reason I happen to have a red pair of pants that have made me famous for one reason or another, just because they were these red pair of pants. But when I bought those red pair of pants, I also bought a pair of beige leather and a pair of blue leather. So the reason why my beige or bone colored weren't very famous is because the first day I went to wear them, on Latin television all around the world. Somewhere in the middle of the set, I split them, and somebody threw me a shirt to wrap around my pants because I didn't even know that I split them. I guess it felt a little like there was a breeze in the room, like somebody turned up the air conditioner for a moment. But so that was my introduction to. I think afterwards I shook Michael's hand, and I think he shot me a funny glance, as far as I recall. But apart from that, that was my. That's my Acapulco story with Michael Bolton. So I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight and watching him, listen to him sing. He's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I mean, legend, absolutely. But it's going to be really funny if he looks at you and says, "Do you still have those pants?"
Yeah. You know, Michael, I don't know if the majority of his audience don't know. He's such a great soul and pop singer, but before he did that, he was in a band called Blackjack in New York City, and he was quite the rocker.
Now, were you able to see him then?
I never saw Blackjack, but we were managed by the same management at the time. It was Lieber and Krebs management. Yeah.
You guys are just all connected. Every time I talk to somebody, you're all connected in one way or another.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's kind of a New York connection. It's funny because there are kind of camps on the West Coast and the East Coast, and I'm sure that was happening in Miami at one time, and now it's nothing but Nashville. But at the time that I was coming up, New York had a real scene, and Michael was part of that scene. Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, I do have
We're going to have fun tonight, and it's all to benefit Saint Jude's. And the fellow who throws the party and the bash annually is Patrick Warburton. 3-day event, which is it incorporates fellas who love to and women who like to play golf. And at the end of the day, when they play golf, they all get together and they listen to music. So there's going to be 3 concerts in a row. Tonight is the big show, the big concert, and so Patrick Warburton of Seinfeld fame, he used to play Putty, the character Putty. He has done this annually probably for 10 years, and he raises, and he puts a great deal of time and effort into it, but he raises funds for Saint Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And I can't think of a better charity and a better cause, and he's done it annually, I believe, for 10 years. And it's a great, I've been a part of it maybe every other year for the last 5 years or so, give or take 6 years. And it's just a blast, and I'm glad they invite me now and then. And, Mickey Thomas is going to be there, Starship.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to, they'll come back to me. Al Paris of Kool and the Gang.
Uncle Cracker.
Uncle Cracker, oh my God. I always forget his actual name, but I've probably done a bunch of shows with him, and he's such a sweetheart. He's great.
And Jeff Skunk Baxter, I read, is going to be there.
Jeff, let me tell you, Jeff and I have played through the years on so many occasions, and he is a badass. It's been, the stuff he did with Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
Steely Dan alone was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But, Jeff's great. He's super.
Do you happen to know who any of the surprise guests will be since it's sold out and we can't get in anyway?
No, I don't. But I can tell you 2 years ago, it was one of them was Toby Keith.
Oh, my gosh.
And the other was Stephen Stills.
What?
And so, of course, Toby Keith is one of the top 3 easily country male artists. But I'll tell you about Stephen Stills. Stephen Stills played at the end of the night, and if I closed my eyes, it could have been Jimi Hendrix.
Oh my
That's the way the cat played. Not to say he sounded like Hendrix, but he brought it the way Hendrix would bring it, the way he would bring it from the cosmos. It was like he channeled the universe, and it was coming out of his guitar. And I have to tell you, I had no idea that's how amazing the fella played. And I had the chance to see him up close. Oh, and one year, one of my heroes, Alex Lifeson, I just fell over backwards
Wow.
We played one year.
I mean, how awesome is it? Not only are you, helping out a great, tremendous cause, but just to be able to perform with all of these other legendary musicians and walk away and say, you know what, I did something really good.
Well, it is. It is good. Look, let me tell you, I'm not a, I'm not a rich man by any stretch of the imagination. But the little bit I can give is some of my performance. And so if and when someone asks, I mean, I'll be there in a heartbeat, and especially for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And the icing on the cake is performing next to these and rubbing elbows with these artists, these great artists. So it's a good time.
Well, I do have to
And
say,
I'm not even mentioning the actors that show up.
really?
Oh my God, yeah.
Well,
So anyway,
I just have to
that's
tell you, Steve, this is great. Your new song, like I said, everybody is absolutely loving it. A few of the comments on your YouTube channel, you just get better and better all the time. This sounds so great. Can't wait to hear the rest of the album. There is nothing like some good positive feedback for you to fuel your creative soul. But this has just got to be wonderful for you, doing the YouTube channel, being able to release new music, your older music, all of that. It just has to feel so good. And to me, you're a very rich man. You have a wonderful wife, wonderful son, great family. And look at what you get to do. Look at what you get to go out and do for people and for yourself, really.
Well, you hit, not to get philosophical, but that you're exactly right. If you can do something that you enjoy doing and you're surrounded by the best people you can surround yourself with, you're as fortunate as it gets.
And
and so thank you for pointing that out and recognizing that. Yeah. By the way, can you hear me okay?
yes.
Because I hear the Santa Ana winds blowing, and they're loud outside. I can hear it outside my hotel window. I have so much to say, and I want to say it loud and clear, and I want to put my music out there. And so this time I've got a team, and we're going to take a good shot at it. We're going to take a swing. We're going to swing for the fence.
Where would you like this to go, Steve? Like, what do you
I only
see?
want it to go to people that appreciate it, listening to it. I wanted to go in someone's car with the top down, driving down the highway, and tapping their foot and singing the song. I want a kid in his house with playing air guitar or air saxophone in my situation, and that's all I want. It was never about fast cars and all the trappings of that. That was never what it was about me. I love making music and performing music, and that's what it's about, in every facet of the process. And this is just, I love it, and I can't wait. We're going to come out there and start playing across the country this year, and we're going to be in Switzerland on the 26th of March.
What?
We're preparing to go to Brazil and Chile, although the dates aren't set in stone yet, later. And then we're going to return to Puerto Rico, where we used to go once to twice a year. So I didn't say that properly. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. We're going to return there. Yeah, so this is going to be an international year and just a fun year. And because we've been, waiting around on deck circle for 2 years. So it's time to go out there and play again, have fun.
Oh, how fun. You're going to Switzerland. That is just amazing. Oh, man. See how awesome.
That's where Swiss cheese comes from.
Swiss cheese?
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Come on. Listen, I love you, Kiki. Thank you for having me on. I'll see you guys soon. I'll be going up north sometime and visit. You take care, all right?
All right. Take care.